Jesus Christ, let's talk. So I know it's been a long time. I know I've been gone for a while. I have actually been great. Everyone's been like, where are you? Are you okay? Where have you been? And it's been like kind of like hard to not respond sometimes, but I was on a hiatus, a sabbatical, but we're going to be talking about basically what I've been doing during the sabbatical, which is falling in love with your pain. So, welcome back. Get your pen and paper, get ready to take some notes because we're going to dive deep. Essentially what this video will turn into is a series. I'm starting a new series for you guys, and it's called Jesus Christ, Let's Talk. And we'll be talking about what it means to be a modern Christian in this world, what it means to be a Christian and to date and to be single, or to strive after purpose in career, and all these things that we have questions about but no place to analyze them or to explore them. That's what this series is all about. And so put your thinking caps on, because today we're going to be talking all about how and why you should fall in love with your pain. So let's get into it. So like I said, I was on a hiatus and I was on a sabbatical because I took time away from social media so that way I can work on this huge project that I'm putting together for you guys. And basically, long story short, I am creating a short film. It's a biopic about my life, about a really traumatic and beautifully sad, beautifully depressing story is the way I like to call it. And over the process of me writing this story, and literally like just uprooting my entire life and completely shifting gears in my career, I'm going into like screenwriting, directing, and filmmaking now, and YouTube, as you know. But going from interior design to that, and then just spending like literally all my days for the past, it's literally been a year that I've been on this sabbatical working on this project, and it will be coming out to you guys this fall, so stay tuned, put it in your calendars. But with writing this biopic, I had to relive moments from my past that for years, specifically 8 to 9 years, I have suppressed. Memories and stories and things that I went through, things that I did, things that I said, things that people said to me, reliving them over and over and over again, and visualizing them and taking myself there mentally on traveling back in time to moments that I wanted to forget for the rest of my life, like never remember. I dug them all up and I lived with them and I analyzed them from all different perspectives, and I wrote them down, and just by dissecting and really researching my own life, researching my own history. And through that journey, I have accomplished literally like falling in love with my journey, falling in love with my pain. Like I fell in love with my own story. And so essentially what I mean by that is like when you look at the bigger picture of your life and you look at all the things that you went through. For me, and I know for a lot of people, the natural thing, the natural response to trauma, to pain, to depressing scenarios is to look at God and be like, and when I think about like when I think about when things like that happen in life, it always brings me to my favorite book of the Bible, my favorite story in the Bible, which is the story of Joseph. The story of Joseph in the book of Genesis is my favorite because I really resonate with Joseph just on a special, like a personal level. But when we look at the story, we look at Joseph's story, right? Joseph was just chilling, you know, like he was literally big chilling. He was low-key his dad's favorite because he was low-key like the promised child, right? Because Rachel, God had told Joseph's dad that he was going to have a baby, and that from that baby, all descendants, blah, 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 blah. So, anyway, Joseph was favored, okay? He was special. He had a special little robe, all this jazz. And his brothers, naturally, which you could probably understand, were jealous. Like, why we out here slaving and graving all day? He don't do nothing but read those books and walk around in his little silly robe, but he gets all of your attention. And so then we know what happened. So then they put him in this freaking, well, first of all, they were going to kill him. But then Judah was like, nah, we cannot kill him. Okay, we can't kill him. But maybe we can just put him in this pit. And then if he just so happens to die, it wasn't by our hands. So they do. Get sold into slavery. He has to do like all this hard labor. But then God starts working on his behalf, right? And Joseph becomes the king's like highest servant. So he's allowed to like be in the house, chill. He has some authority, all this stuff. And then out of nowhere, things are going good. The wife freaking comes, the king's wife comes and tries to play him. And it's like, oh, you're a bomb. Like, you smash me. Like, I want you to smash me. And Joseph was like, no, I'm not about to smash you, ma'am. Your freaking husband is the king. And I'm not trying to get my head cut off to have sex with you. No, why are you trying to do this to me? So then she plays Joseph's life, makes it seem like he rapes her. And then Joseph is put into freaking prison for a long time. Until he's like 33 or something like that. So poor little Joseph is in jail. But then God starts working again, right? And so we know the story. Joseph becomes like in charge of like the whole prison. So he like gets exalted yet again. And then he's the king of dreams. So then two people come in there. He interprets these people's dreams. Their dreams come true. Later down the line, the guy remembers. Joseph ends up interpreting the dream of the king. And then the king, listen to this. Listen to this one. Just because Joseph interpreted the king's dream, he put him in charge of all of the kingdom, all of Egypt. He puts him second in command to him. He goes from being a jailmate to being basically governor. King, COO. Like that. So, why did I just tell you this whole Bible story that you probably already know, but I just like talking about it? Because when we look at Joseph's life, Joseph had a lot of things happen to him, or maybe just one incident that happened to him that led to a downward spiral of unfortunate events for him, unfortunately. But even Joseph himself, in the face of his brothers, when they came back asking for rice, they were the ones who laughed at him when Joseph had the dream that literally was coming, like manifesting itself when he saw them again after he was already king and they were coming to get some rice. And he was like low-key playing with them, going back and forth. But then he finally just gave up and was just like, he was the one to comfort his own brothers. Joseph was like, don't you see? You guys had to do that. Like, God allowed you guys to put me in that situation so that way I can go through the ranks, so that way I will be in position the moment that the king needed someone to interpret his dream. If Joseph was never put into that pit, he would have never been in, first of all, he wouldn't have been in Egypt. That was like the whole other country out over. They weren't even from Egypt, first of all. So he would have never got into that position. He would have never been able to help out Egypt. Therefore, all of Egypt, they would have died, okay? And then Joseph and his family would have also died because there was a mass famine. And Joseph was the one, dude. Joseph was the one that was going to save all these people. Literally, the one person. And so it makes you think about Joseph, even in that moment, was able to do exactly what this whole video is all about, which is to fall in love with the story. And I think the reason why it seems like such a big oxymoron, like to say like to fall in love with your pain, to fall in love with your pain, love and pain doesn't seem like it's the same thing. When in reality, that's like a byproduct of love. With love, you get all of the emotions, you get all of the experiences, you get everything. Because with love, that means I love you. That means I'm gonna be here for you. That means that I appreciate this when it's good, and I appreciate this when it's bad. And I appreciate it when I don't understand it. I appreciate it when I know it. I appreciate it under all. So, like Joseph, we have to look back at our lives and take the necessary time to do the necessary work to dissect our lives, to piece together all of these different links, to get full understanding. Like when you take the time out to understand your life and to go back and to get wisdom on why God allowed certain things to happen, then you begin to fall in love with your story because you understand, just like Joseph, that it was all a part of the plan. It was all a part of the plan. Like, dang, like that is just like I feel like there's no more you can say other than that. Like that moment when Joseph saw his brothers and he was crying and he was like, you don't understand. Like this wasn't even your fault. Like I can't even be mad at you guys because it was a part of God's plan. Like, dang. Like, dang. So with that, with our lives, and that's why I'm so thankful and grateful for the sabbatical that I had, where I was writing this project. In reality, I was Joseph in the face of my brothers, and it's the pain that we go through, the pain that we experience, the things that make up our story, and the web of experiences that create our lives aren't just for us. But just like Joseph, they are to save literally nations. Literally to save hundreds and thousands and millions of people's lives. Joseph had to experience what was it, like 10 years of enslavement? His whole young life, he had to literally be a slave. I'm pretty sure he was thinking yo, I had God, but you gave me these promises, God, but you gave me these dreams that I was going to be a king and that I was going to be this, I was going to be that, and God, I had such a great life, and why did you allow this to happen to me? I'm sure he was having all those questions. Even after he became king, he's still not king, but he was exalted second in command to the king. He still had he was, don't get it twisted, he was still pissed off at his brothers, like mad at his brothers for doing that to him. But it wasn't until he saw them that God gave him that revelation, like, wow, okay, God, that is why this happened. And so, I guess with this video, I'm going to end it here. But I'm going to encourage you guys to take out necessary time. Like, you don't have to be dramatic like me, okay? I made my last video explains, like, my break, what my break looked like, what my new shift, and how I'm shifting my life around. But in that time, in creating a script, a body of work, creating my own magnum opus, I was able to go back to all those moments in my life, dissect them, analyze them, pray about it, cry about it, write about it in diaries, have discussions with friends about it, have discussions with myself, with God, about it with God, and just really just get understanding on my life. Like, I like had my life here and I was like, hold on, let me journey back, let me remember all this stuff. Just like Joseph's past had to journey all that time to get all that way to get to Egypt. We have to journey back to. We have to reach back into our past, so that way we can heal from it. That's the whole point. The whole point of it is to heal from it, get understanding, and then to get the answer to the question, now that I know why I went through this pain, what am I supposed to do with my story? What am I supposed to do with my life, knowing that I have this experience under my belt? Who am I supposed to help? Who am I supposed to save? What am I supposed to create? And also, one simple one is just, how do I move forward? How do I move forward? As in, what do I do now? Not as in like, I can't move forward, because you can, and you will. But yeah, so yeah, yeah, wow. So I hope you guys really like this video. I know it's really a lot to think about. I know it's a heavy topic. So we can absolutely continue the conversation down below in the comments. Actually, if you are feeling open and transparent, I would encourage you to comment down in the comments below an experience, a part of your story that applies to the topic. So what part of your story was painful, but you gotten the revelation on why you were allowed by God to go through that, and how He wants you to use that. So I would love to hear your personal stories, how you're falling in love with your pain, how you're falling in love with your story. One of the things that I always say to my really close friends is how beautiful it is to experience an array of different things. How beautiful is it to experience detours in your life that were given to you by God that may have been pretty trash, if we're honestly speaking, but later on revealed such a beautiful truth, like that of Joseph's. Like, you know, like he literally had to be there. He had to have gone through that process to be able to save millions of people's lives. So I guess I would also encourage you to the next time that in your life where you come to a moment where it seems like a setback, or it seems like an unfair treatment or something, to get excited, because that only means that you are crossing over a hurdle that will eventually save someone's life. Find your nation to save. And yeah, so that's the end of this story. That's the end of this video. I really hope you guys love this video. Let me know how you're feeling about the series. Are you excited to continue on? Jesus Christ Let's Talk is going to be a consistent series now on this channel, where we're going to be talking about life through transparent conversations about dissecting topics that may seem like untouchable, but we need to talk about it. And yeah, so I love you guys so much. I'm so excited to be back. As you can tell, my name has shifted from Clarice Fancy to now Clarice Liana. And instead of designing a fancy life, you know what we are designing instead? We are designing a whole life together. So join me on this journey to designing a whole, complete, and perfect life that doesn't lack anything. Love you guys.